I don't actually remember quite how
I
we
remember.
met. I don't. Oh my god, I don't remember.
Wait, where did we meet?
I have no idea. I can't remember. That's so weird. Wait.
Where did we meet, bro?
No, I think I wrote to you.
Yeah.
I have. Okay, sorry. I have no memory of how we met.
It was in Tallinn University, and I was late, so I came in like maybe half an hour later than I was supposed to be.
I remember that. I remember. I remember you apologizing a lot.
Yeah, I was renewing my resident permit, which is such a fucking immigrant thing to do.
And I remember that also, but
And
I just can't remember.
Yeah, I was in Lasnamäe, and I couldn't get back on time because I thought it's gotta be a super simple process, right? It took me like 3 hours straight, and I remember I was getting close to the meeting time. I was like, yo, I just don't want to be late anymore, and I took a taxi just to get there a little bit earlier. And I
That's very Estonian.
and that was the time we first met. Yeah.
Now I remember.
Right?
Yeah.
How?
Yeah, but who initiated it?
I think it was me because I saw a few videos you did about traveling, and then I was commenting on one of your videos.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I
Yeah.
remember.
And then I don't know through what channel that we got connected, but that was a moment that I think that was the first kind of first point of contact.
Yeah, I became aware of your existence.
Yeah.
It's so. I would have really liked to remember meeting you.
Yeah.
It makes me look a bit heartless.
I mean, it was such a long time ago, 2015. It was the first year I got here. And I'm not even sure if I started doing my YouTube channel or not. I think I might have.
No, you definitely did. Yeah, you had a few videos, 100%.
I haven't done like the one that I was really happy about, the tongue twister one yet.
Tongue twister.
So that at that time, I think I was really experimental with all my food adventures. So I was making a lot of videos about eating all kinds of food.
I think the first video I saw was you trying out local booze.
Yeah.
And you did it with 3 guys.
Mhm.
And you got super drunk.
And somebody got naked by the end of the video.
Did they?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was like instantly drunk. That was
because I think you didn't swallow it, right?
yeah. It was just in my mouth. I was like
Yeah,
covering it in my mouth.
Yeah, I thought that maybe the stereotype that Asians can't really hold their liquor really applies because they were completely analyzing scientifically like yeah, sweet, and you were just like all red, just giggling.
Like people think I was faking it because it was so quick. We had the whole video wrapped up in half an hour, and I was already like pretty wasted by the end of the video. And they're like,
by not swallowing anything.
Yeah, there's no way alcohol works like this because people except for me, people all drink. They often drink, right? They know how long it's supposed to take for them to get drunk or get slightly tipsy on that volume. And they just can't believe me. And there was like a lot wasn't showing in the camera. There were like maybe 5 to 10 people sitting on the couch behind the camera, and everybody's just enjoying that shit. If you listen closely to that video, it picked up a lot of sound from the background. It's just this all like choking and giggling sound that people can't really.
I so enjoyed the video. I was like, I think even when we met, I said that if you ever want to do it again, I'm so in, because it looked like so much fun. Like everyone was laughing.
It was. By the end of the day, I think the neighbors threatened us to call the police, and that's the moment we stopped. Yeah.
Good story.
And later on, we realized the neighbor actually working in the university. I shouldn't do anything like that anymore. No more home parties. That was the only one and the only time that we ever had a party in my apartment, just because it was so fucking nasty. By the end of it, I almost puked over cleaning up my own shit.
Right now, you don't drink any alcohol. That previous to that video, did you drink alcohol?
Yeah, I drink, but it's more like, there are people who seriously drink alcohol. And
yeah, like their end goal is blackout.
Yeah, and there are people who are like classifying themselves as what's that called? Casual or social drinker.
Cultural.
Yeah.
Or
And
social.
And there are people who are like hipster who can't really drink but still hold their craft beer very dearly. And there's me. You know?
Yeah.
And I fucking started drinking at a very early age. My grandpa used to feed me like all those Chinese rice alcohol like when I was like a baby.
Sake?
Yeah. And they kind of like dip the chopstick. It's such an Asian thing to say, I know. They dip the chopstick.
Yeah, I dipped the chopstick in the
rice alcohol. And they put it in my mouth. And I was like, oh, such a great sensation. I remember that because it's burning. It's really hell of alcohol. So I was like drinking a lot like that, you know, over the chopstick tip when I was like 5 or 6.
I remember
it didn't build up the tolerance. Whoever said that your alcohol tolerance can get built up, it's bullshit.
It can get built up, but it takes a longer longer time and bigger quantity.
Probably doesn't work on babies. That's all I'm saying.
I remember when I was just like a few years old. I was also living in Lasnamäe, and one time when during Christmas time, the Santa's helpers bring you candy, into your sock, and one time. I think my parents must have forgotten to get candy or something, and they only had these like heavily alcoholic chocolate candies.
Yeah.
And because they had to put something in the sock, then they put that candy in the sock, and I was so exhilarated. I was like, "Oh, cool! This is what kids usually don't get." and when I tasted it, it was just horrible. It was terrible.
Is it rum?
Possibly, yeah, but it was so strong for me. It was really bad.
Do you drink?
Only, yeah, but only like maybe once every 1 or 2 months.
Are you considering yourself a social drinker?
Only social drinker, yeah. Like I wouldn't drink by myself. I once tried to make a YouTube video of showing people my favorite types of beers and craft beers. And it was just like tanking myself up with booze. The video turned out terrible. I haven't published it. I haven't edited it. And there I am. I'm just sitting at home. It's 4 o'clock, and I'm just piss drunk. And it was such a negative experience overall. Like I would never like. For me, it is a social lubrication. It gets you talking, gets you chatty.
Lubrication.
Exactly.
Sure.
It's a people say it like that, social lubrication, at least in Estonia.
Like that's like interesting for me because I don't know, I never get loose, even though sometimes there was a few times that I got really drunk. How do you get loose when you're drunk? I just don't see it.
Well, in my case, it doesn't make really difference because I'm always open. Like pretty much anyone can come up to me and ask me anything. But it's like people have things they want to talk about and they want to ask, but they either feel that it's awkward or it's not their business or they shouldn't, and it's actually or it's weird. But it's these kind of questions and topics which are oftentimes the most enticing, the most interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And when people lose they don't care anymore when they drink. There was actually a research that people do. It's not like they don't understand what they do when they do stupid stuff because they're drunk. They do understand. They just don't care about the consequences.
Mm-hmm.
So when people are drunk, they do understand that maybe this question is too personal or weird or otherwise unacceptable. But because they don't care about the consequence, they ask it. And oftentimes other people also want to address this topic, but
why they forget about the consequence?
I don't know. It's psychology plus chemistry plus biology. I think that you need to answer this question, but yeah, it's I never drink in a way that I lose self-control. Like instantly when I feel like whoa, I'm starting to lose balance or something.
When was the last time you were drunk?
Define drunk. Like I had. I was drunk but I was completely like aware and had.
When was the last time you wasn't completely aware of, your position, situation?
Oh, I don't know.
It wouldn't necessarily have to be a blackout,
Yeah, I know what you mean, but I don't remember. I think.
Have you ever been?
Yeah, at school, like when you start drinking, I think I've had like 2 blackouts. One was when in the 9th grade, and one was in the 12th grade. And that both times it was because of a drinking game, because then you don't like actively control your own consumption. But any other time I see no appeal in getting so pissed drunk that you don't control yourself. Like I enjoy controlling myself. I want to control myself, and just like it is a social lubrication, and you don't want to over lubricate. It's going to ruin the experience.
I want to over lubricate. What do you mean you don't want to over lubricate?
Well, you don't want to over lubricate. At least when it comes to social situations.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Otherwise, you feel free.
Have we asked your name yet?
My name.
What's your name?
What do you think my name is?
What's your name for the people who might actually stumble upon this video?
Yeah, interesting. We're gonna put it out there, just into the void, into the internet, and it's like this small speck, one podcast that is not a podcast, just drifting in this darkness, and then imagine that someone from Bangladesh.
Like that's fun because I guess it's just for me, it's all about like how you describe it, It's just uncertainty. What's your name, bro?
My name is Artur Kamberg.
How old are you?
I'm 23 and a half.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, any other personal data? My blood type is A positive.
Don't give out too much. You have to keep them wondering.
Yeah.
What do you do? What do you do except for YouTube?
Well, I wouldn't say that I do YouTube anymore because it's been my last upload was just before New Year's, and I haven't uploaded since because I've been working on developing an online course. But the curious thing is that with the start of 2018, which was like 3.5 months ago. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I haven't uploaded anywhere, Instagram, YouTube, and I am just getting tons of new followers. I think like on YouTube when I quit uploading, I had like 1,300 followers, and now I have 1,500 almost. So, not uploading is the right strategy for gaining followers.
No,
I have no idea.
It's not the right
strategy. I have no idea why it works like
it's
this.
It's not the right
like
strategy.
I could have worked. I worked really hard, regularly, putting out content. And I didn't get as big of a growth as I do right now, not uploading anything. But it's also possibly because I've been more present in elsewhere. I've always liked this kind of talking and presenting and YouTube and on the stage and theater. So I was hosting a show for Estonian YouTubers. So probably got some followers from there. Then in the end of last year, I gave a speech at a business conference. I probably got some followers from there. So I've been gaining followers from the real world.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, that's what I'm doing right now.
Makes sense.
Yeah, developing an online course.
1,500 and growing.
Soon to be 1,500.
Okay.
I think. Yeah.
And where are you from?
I'm from right here. I'm from Estonia.
Okay.
I was born in Tallinn.
Because like you said, there are people in Bangladesh watching this, so...
It's so curious, if the videos I made just this morning, I did some work, like I knew that today, like after we finish the podcast, I also have plans and I won't get any work done, but I want to get like minimum 2 hours of work towards my dreams every day. So this morning I got up like 6 and I started doing, and while I'm doing, I get this notification from YouTube, like this completely random guy. I didn't check where he was specifically from, but he's just like under one of my relationship advice videos. He just said thank you. That's it. So I said like whatever you're thanking me for, you're welcome. I'm really glad that you found something. But when I actually went through one time the demographics of the viewers, there's literally like Saudi Arabia, Bangladesh, India, Australia.
What's your top demographic?
I think it's like 75% women. I think half of them are Estonian.
Where are they from?
Half, like when we talk about, you know, nation-wise, then half are Estonian.
Okay.
Then I think the second highest demographic is American.
Okay.
Like 20 something. Then there's the Brits, the Finns, and then you have like unbelievable people from Mexico and you know places from where you have no idea how they even came across your content.
Okay. Estonian YouTuber. It's hard out there, huh?
It's so hard. But I don't.
Well, I remember like
I don't define myself as a YouTuber anymore.
I remember when we first met. Like that was the day we walked down the road in Narva.
Narva, yeah.
And we're walking towards Virugiskas. I don't remember where we're going, but I asked, "Hey, what's how did I ask the question? Like, what do you want to do?" I guess basically. Like, what you're doing at the moment. So in my head, I was like, either I know you were doing YouTube, but in my head, I was like, he must have some, you know, side thing besides YouTube, right? Either he's going to school.
At the time, I didn't.
Yeah. I was like, maybe he's going to school. Maybe he was working. Because I don't really know. I didn't even know you can earn money from YouTube back then. I don't know if they have this revenue system. So, yeah, I was asking like, what do you do? And you tell me like, I want to be a full-time YouTuber. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember. Well, like for me, like right now, I think the name or the profession of a YouTuber is kind of tainted because, you know, if you say a YouTuber, you instantly think of all these 23, 25-year-old guys whose audience...
You fit that portfolio.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Who oftentimes have colored hair.
You do fit that description as well.
Yeah, a jawline. And then their audience is like 13-year-old girls and boys, and their entire content is this kind of like you know, like a children's show, like super amplified emotions. Everything is like drinking water. Oh my God, guys, this was the best water ever. Oh jeez. Oh, this is so radical. Man, I'm such a badass. What a beast. And you know what? Now I'm not gonna wash my cup. That's right, Mom, I'm not gonna wash my cup. And this kind of content, it's like, it's so widespread, it's so popular, which is why I'm really like, this is the kind of thing that I think first when someone says YouTuber, which is why you know, I'm not a YouTuber is what I feel. But I'm really happy to see that, you know, channels like H3H3, PewDiePie, he's become very down to earth, you know, this kind of iDubbbz, Nerd City, you know, people who they entertain, but their audience is much older. It's like 20, 25 plus. They have this kind of a critical thinking, you know, they're not just, you know, devout followers who believe anything the YouTuber says, you know, and it's I think there's a kind of like a cultural shift, or like there's a division happening, you know, like you can go I'm not saying cinema is bad, but you know, it's easy to go watch Marvel movies in the cinema, and then there's just like a small proportion of people who go actually to the library to get books, and to read. And I think this is a kind of a YouTube shift, that we have this majority who goes for the Shrek movies and Marvel movies.
It seems like you're dissing Marvel.
I know, but I like Marvel movies. I'm really excited to go see the Infinity War, but I'm saying it as an example that it's like an easier kind of more like a easier kind of entertainment, and then there's like this smaller group who goes for the well, maybe I want to say the relevant topics, but maybe like who says that my perception is right? But that's how I see it.
One question.
Yeah.
Are you a Jake Pauler?
Hell yeah! No, I'm not. This is the guy I was thinking of, and Logan Paul. You know, the brothers of exaggerated emotions. You know, they're really the masters of this kind of drama and anything that's eye-catching goes. Yeah.
What do you think it's wrong with having Jake Paul on the platform?
I thought you were gonna say on the planet.
Yeah. I mean, there's like you said, there's a market for them, right?
There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong because
it's just a tone how you said there's a,
division.
It seems like you're saying one direction is gone bad, and there is something that goes up.
No, it's not like it's gone bad, and it's not like it's bad, because it's good and bad. It's just like a matter of perception.
Yeah.
It
seems like you perceive Jake Paul as bad though.
Maybe. Yeah. Yeah. In a way, definitely. At least I perceive the channels like Nerd City and PewDiePie and H3H3. I perceive them as better.
I mean, you're their demographic. Therefore, you think they're probably H3H3 probably for you and me is more enjoyable. I definitay find their videos.
Yeah,
more
maybe if I was like 13, I would be dabbing all over town. I'd be a maverick wearing the Paul merch, and it is completely possible that it's not a question of people consuming intelligent or non-intelligent content. It's just a question of people consuming content appropriate for their own age. Because if I was a kid, I watched Cartoon Network. I still watch Cartoon Network. So yeah, it's possible. As I said, this is just my perception of things.
Do you watch a lot of YouTube?
Increasingly less.
Increasingly less. You
You
can just say less, bro.
Yeah, but it sounds better when I say no, because I try to decrease the amount of YouTube I watch, because it's like my before bed routine is to watch a PewDiePie video.
I have never watched PewDiePie.
Never.
Not a single time. It also never got recommended to me, because I know they got recommended to a lot of people. Yeah.
No, in fact, he doesn't, because he's kind of being bullied by YouTube. At least based on the this is what a lot of these channels which I called out, like H3H3 and Nerd City, they did like an extensive analysis how YouTube has strong preferences. Like it recommends certain creators and others, because PewDiePie has had these media scandals. Then even if his videos are completely eligible for monetizing, then they don't risk recommending it. And there was like a huge like a media scandal around it, that YouTube always claimed that they don't categorize their videos like mature and appropriate for all ages, but then it turned out that they did. So he's kind of, in a sense, being bullied by YouTube, because YouTube doesn't recommend his videos anymore.
But how many hours of YouTube would you say you watch at the moment?
Per day? An hour at least. If it's an unproductive day, then 2 or 3 hours.
What's a maximum hours you have done in your life in a single day?
On YouTube.
Yeah.
I have no idea, but I think it's not much. I've never been like a big YouTube consumer. Like even if I was making videos, then I got constantly other creators I spoke with were constantly amazed at how little I consume from the platform myself. Like everyone expects that if you're a YouTuber, then you also consume a lot.
Like how long would you consider yourself? For what period of time did you consider yourself? As I understand, right now you don't consider yourself a YouTuber.
No.
For how long did you consider yourself a YouTuber?
For how long?
Yeah.
From the 23rd of March of 2015.
Okay. Why that day?
That's when I uploaded the first video.
Okay.
And that was like a really big deal for me. I wanted to be a YouTuber so badly for like 3 years, but I never had the courage.
Mm-hmm.
And then I put up my first video, and
you already consider yourself a YouTuber?
Instantly. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, because I had multiple videos prepared. Like I wanted to make like a big launch, you know. I had intro. I had my friend make myself an intro and an outro, and I was super prepared. I was like, I bought the camera especially for that. I bought a microphone especially for that,
yeah.
A tripod, and I was really like, let's make this happen. You know, let's be the biggest Estonian YouTuber known worldwide, not just inside Estonia. But you know,
and until when?
Until I think it lasted for like a year and a half.
Okay, so you don't remember a specific day for the end of your YouTube career?
No, it was like a gradual understanding. Like a lot of Estonian YouTubers told me that you have the talent, you have the style, the skills, the character of a YouTuber, and you could definitely make it, but it's just that if you want to make it as a single person on the platform, you gotta have great knowledge of marketing, or you gotta have a team, you know, someone who knows marketing and all this. It's like a professional sport. It's a team sport, but in Estonia it would be so much easier because the audience is so much smaller, the competition is so much smaller. I know basically all the Estonian YouTubers, so you know I could just walk up like, hey, let's make a collaboration, and you instantly get exposure to like 20,000-30,000 people, and if your content is actually good, you could, you know, make some money with it.
So you're doing videos only with English?
Yeah.
Why not in Estonian? If you say, well,
because,
easier for you.
Because like I don't want to. Estonian YouTube has changed a lot for the better, but when I started making it, then it was very much in its infancy, and because people didn't yet have their own like style, then it was this kind of, you know, like Jake Paul kind of content, you know, that let's do something stupid, you know. I did stupid stuff at first because it's so much easier to, I don't know, have a food fight, you know, just mush food in each other's faces. It's funny, ha ha ha, oh my god, it's so gross. It's easy entertainment, and it's easy to make. But as I developed, I was very uncontent with what I made, and then I started, you know, it's so much scarier to put your own thoughts and ideas out there for people to evaluate and criticize and comment on. So this is actually what I did for like more than a year.
But still doesn't explain why you didn't do it in Estonian though.
Ah, okay, yeah, I got lost off topic there. Thanks for correcting me. I didn't do it in Estonian because the average Estonian viewer is exactly like 10 years old, 12 years old. And because the Estonian YouTube community is so young, and there aren't any fans who have grown up yet.
So there is not so many like 20, 30-ish people
there
watching YouTube?
There definitely are, but they are not the majority. It's kind of like whenever I appeared in an Estonian YouTuber's video, and then I would get instantly the next weekend I would go on town and I would get recognized by kids this young who would just come up to me and you know, all the comments they left were just like smiley face and you know, it's a compliment.
Mm-hmm.
It's very good, but once I made like a few videos, or once I had made videos in English, then you know and I had encountered this more mature type of audience. There was no way I could go back, because you know the feedback, the amount of thought they put into their feedback and the comments, they were so rich. They took the topic, whichever I talked about, gave their own experiences, expanded the topic, recommended me books on the topic.
But did you do any of those, like, really, you know, in your opinion, deep video in Estonian?
No.
So maybe there are people who are willing to leave some thoughtful comments. They just didn't have the, you know, the...
Yeah, definitely. No, because there were Estonians who commented under these, you know, deep thought videos that why don't you do those in Estonian? I would like to watch it in Estonian. So yes, actually, the reason I didn't do videos in Estonian was partly because of prejudice, as we've just confirmed, because I had no reason to believe that there wasn't any mature audience Estonian speaking, but actually, like, it's a really stupid, but the main reason was because my idols were doing YouTube in English, and I wanted to be like them, and I've always enjoyed speaking English, and I think it makes, like, I feel more competent and professional when I speak English. When I speak Estonian, it's like, I'm just some kid from Estonia. When I speak English, I sound much more professional to myself.
Okay.
What about you?
Makes sense, I guess. Yeah.
Why don't you make videos in Estonian?
It makes sense. I don't know. I would love to.
Would you,
if I can speak?
If you spoke Estonian?
For sure. I will definitely.
Because just when coming here, taking the bus, I met my cousin, as I already communicated to you previously. And she asked where I'm going, and I said that I'm going to meet you, and then I gave her a brief overview of what you do, and I told her that your appeal on YouTube is exactly that you can give the locals like an outside viewpoint to life in Estonia, and that's so precious. Like, maybe you don't even understand this, but because we all Estonians, if you watch videos about Estonia by Estonians, it's, you know what they're gonna say, but your viewpoints are always so much more unique and something, you know, people don't expect. It's so much more interesting. So I think if I were you, I would not change that format. Or maybe, yeah, you can change the language, but not the format.
Interesting. I don't know. I never thought of like YouTube as something that I can provide values from, you know, like it just
for fun you did.
Yeah, I just it feels like I was doing this even when I was in Japan, and it's just always been there. And because like we were just talking about how this putting out a video is sort of like shooting out, like, I don't know what's that called, satellite, and you don't really know what is gonna come on its way, and it's just fun. You know, like for me, it's like a good pastime. I don't read comments. I don't do anything with it. But just put it out there. It feels like you have a package, and just throw it away. Sort of like let it fly.
It sounds like you're talking about this mandala patterns. You know, that the monks make. You just make it this beautiful. It takes work, as a video does, and then you just brush it off, or you just cast this out into the internet. Yeah,
more like, yeah, exactly. More like, but instead of mandala, I think it's more like when you go to strip club, and then you have money.
You dish out cash.
Yeah, and it kind of feels like that. Even when, you know, I don't have money, and I have never been to a strip club, but I kind of imagine that's gotta be how it feels.
I thought that
For me, making YouTube video is kind of just like throwing all the money away, because that's a part of my life, or it's a part of my experience, and I get to kind of put it out there. You know, it's kind of like the same kind of feeling, because I don't know. It's also good just to do something, because I get bored often. I don't know.
do you have a lot of free time?
Yeah, I try to make a lot of free time for myself. Even if I'm not free, I'm free.
I think that's in a way, this is my also like current end goal in life, to have it so that every single one of the activities I have in my life, I've chosen them to be there. It's not like I have to do anything, or something is like unavoidably there. Like I want every single thing in my life to be there because I chose it. So
it's hard.
It's super hard.
Right?
It's super hard.
Sometimes I was thinking about, I want to choose to wash those dishes right now. Well, I don't want it to see it as a thing I need to do, but it's hard to shift that mentality and to think, oh, I want to wash that dish. Oh, I love those clean dishes. I want to put my hand in the water and then rub it off.
Well, this is the interesting thing that about you, that when you want a change in your life, like you just gave this example of washing dishes, then your solution to it is changing your own mentality. Change your mentality about how you view this act of washing the dishes. Change it in a way that you want to wash the dishes. But my solution would be to, create...
Avoid the dishes?
No, somehow, like, you change yourself, and I want to change my environment. Like, I want to,
go out to eat, and then
go out to eat,
dishes.
Or have sufficient financial funds to get a housekeeper, or
buy a dishwasher.
Or buy a dishwasher, exactly. So, but this is also like an interesting difference. This is I think my brother also said that this is the interesting thing about you, that you never solve things the way an average person would expect someone to solve the problem.
I don't know if it's an insult or it's a good thing.
I don't know either.
It could be both.
Could be both.
Right?
Yeah.
Financial independence.
Yeah. What's with that?
It shows up a lot in our conversation.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, because it's yeah.
Right? Why is it important to you?
Well, because of the same thing that we just talked about. Like, I don't see financial independence. It can be just replaced with the word freedom, like complete and utter freedom. Because for me it's not important to have a fancy car or an expensive watch or expensive clothes. For me it's important to have freedom of choice in everything.
Okay.
If and price is something that affects your choice, makes you not free. You might want to it's dark, it's winter, you might want to see some sunlight, you might want to travel somewhere, but boom, if your bank account says no, then you're not free. Okay. This is my thing. Like I may not even want to leave during the winter time, but I want to have the freedom to leave.
Yeah, makes sense. But are you financially free at the moment? Would you consider yourself financially free at the moment?
No. Financial freedom for me, firstly, it has to be self-provided. It cannot depend on anyone else. And secondly, it has to be self-sustainable. So if you're living off saved money, for example, or you're just, you've worked hard, you've accumulated resources, and then you could say that, oh, for the next week you don't have to go to work because you have accumulated resources. This means that you're financially free for this week. For me, this does not constitute financial freedom. For me, freedom has to be that, you know, it's self-sustainable. It's like a system. You create a system that enables you to put butter on your bread.
That just seems like a lot of 9-to-5 job, regardless of how well they pay, is not, you know, what you consider financial.
No, definitely not. I could not do a 9-to-5 job and be content with myself, because, you know, my financial freedom in that case is, it's not freedom, and I'm not free not to go to work.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
So what kind of job do you want to have?
I want to build systems.
Okay.
You know, like I'm doing right now.
What kind of systems?
Systems that manage themselves. So right now, what I'm going for is creating an online course, and then you
about relationship.
Almost, but the specific topic isn't important. You create an online course, and it's now done. You know, otherwise I could start schooling people.
Okay.
You know, but that would be selling my own time. If I don't show up for this conference that I'm creating, then I don't get my financial freedom. But with an online course, you create it once, you create it really well. Then you build a marketing sequence, which you can also automate, and then pretty much you start, you know, marketing it into different sources until it starts living its own life.
Mm-hmm.
From which point you can pretty much forget about it.
So,
and it will give you a passive income. It's self-provided and it's self-sustainable.
So it just, well, it's like scaling a product and then kind of
stepping away from it.
Yeah, and then have passive income coming in, regardless of what you do at that.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I consider freedom.
Okay. And how do you see yourself in this process of making a system right now? Do you think it's working well?
It's well, it's the first time I'm trying to create a process from which I could step away, like at least 90% step away. It's since it's the first time, then, you know, I don't have the experience to evaluate it, but I would say it's going okay.
Okay.
It's very I think that it becoming self-sustainable passive income is possible. So this is why I consider it going well.
Do you have a backup plan if this one doesn't work?
Yeah, I'll just try again.
Is it gotta be the same thing?
No, definitely not. Like, if this doesn't work, then it like this is a thing that you shouldn't. And even if this doesn't work, then I would take the feedback of why does it work, and then it's the question of, can it be fixed? Maybe it was such a bad idea from the get-go that it doesn't work. Then yeah, I discard it, you take something else. But most likely it just needs some fine-tuning. You know, you didn't pay attention to this, or you didn't pay attention to that, or the marketing was bad, and then you just correct it. Yeah.
Is it almost done? Is it available?
It's no, I'm right now in the I've done the research, I've sent out surveys, I've talked to possible clients, I've researched where to market it, I've researched the topic in addition to the knowledge I already had, and I'm right now like 2/3 into writing the scripts for the videos. It's going to be a video course. So after I finish writing the scripts, I have to film the videos, and then it'll be pretty much available.
It's an online course, video-based online course
Yeah.
about.
Let's leave the topic right now.
Okay, so you prefer not to talk about it
Yeah, for now.
for legal reason.
No, not for legal reasons, for personal reasons.
Okay. Why is it not comfortable for you to talk about it?
That's a personal reason. Don't prod your finger in it. It's like you.
Okay. When would you be more comfortable to disclose that information?
Once it's done. Like
When-
I'm tired of telling people that I have this plan or I have that plan, and then have those people come up to me a few months later and ask, how did that plan go? I'm like, oh no, I'm working on a different plan. Like I want to make something, and I want to say that it's not like I'm planning to make something, but here I made something. So
It's a video-based online course about something.
exactly.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Would you describe it that way?
Yeah.
Okay. And the potential revenue would be people who pay for this course.
The source of the revenue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
It's like this is what I like about entrepreneurship, is that everyone wins.
It's gotta be in English.
Yeah, and it's like I think what I like about online courses is that they have this trend lately that you only pay, like you get a full refund option, like if you don't get the result that you pay for.
But would you give them that option?
Yeah, 100%.
I'll buy it.
Cool. And if you, it's like it's oftentimes set up in a way that if the person, there are exercises that a person has to conduct to go through the course, and if they can prove that they went through the entire course, like it's really easy to prove if you actually went through the entire course, then you get a full refund. This way you prevent people from just hoarding all the online courses and just asking for refund.
How do you prevent that?
I just described it to you. You provide tasks and worksheets to complete.
If I went through the whole course,
Yeah.
and I'm not satisfied,
Yeah, then you get 100% your money back. And you'd be like, I know it sounds maybe to some people, maybe to you, like a bad business idea, because
no, it doesn't.
who wouldn't ask their money back? But I have bought online information products, and
You have.
I have, yeah, twice.
Are you comfortable disclosing what are they?
Well, one of them was about when I started a YouTube channel. It was about getting your content to go viral, and how basically about social media and how content operated in it. It was very very valuable, and if you feel like you got something out of it, it's actually the principle of reciprocity, that you want to give back if you've been given, and you don't want to refund it,
Of course.
but yeah, I believe in that people should be, it's not a trick. Like, I'm gonna make something super shitty and I'm gonna make people pay for it, and once they buy it they will only then realize how bad it is, and but it's okay because I already have their money. No, I want to actually provide value. This is one of the things why I also like it, because you can actually help people.
How much did you pay for that one?
Which one?
For making viral videos?
Ooh, I don't remember. What, like a little less than 200 euros?
Was that also 200 euros?
Or like 100 euros?
Pretty-
One or the other.
Okay.
It's like this kind of ebooks. They kind of tend to, their price is like I don't know, 10 to 50 euros. But mostly these online courses, they have like a few hours of content. They range from 100 to 500, or if it's like a really extensive, very very valuable course, then I know there's also like 1,000 euro costing courses, or 2,000. But they all have, well, most of them have this refund policy, that if you go through the process and you don't get the results that the course promises you, then you can get a refund.
I know you don't want to talk about the course, but do you have a number in your head that you want to charge?
$183.
Dollars.
Okay,
183.
It's around 100 and.
Why 183?
There's It just feels like if you want like 199, let's say, then firstly, this is the value that I feel the thing has.
183.
Actually, I felt like 189.
Okay.
Or 190, but there's a certain kind of pricing policy or like psychology behind it. That you gotta pick a number weird enough, or
is 183 a weird number?
No. There was I can't remember where I read it, but there was like 4 principles of pricing a product, and first you determine what's the actual value.
Yeah.
And then you research what similar products are sold for on the internet, and you kind of you come to this that, oh, this could be my price, and then you
settle for 183.
Yeah.
Okay.
It somehow felt that
So obviously this one is not targeting the European market, because you're setting the price in the US dollar.
Well, no, it doesn't matter really.
Is it gotta be a great number in euro as well?
We can calculate.
I want to check. I'm just super curious right now.
183. I'm just gonna get my phone.
I think my internet is.
Nice.
It's not there.
Give me a sec.
No
183. I think it was like 150 or a little less. It's 148.
48
euros.
Is it a good number?
I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
148.
148. I think 183. It's like I feel that I get paid, adequately towards the or in relation to the value I'm providing.
Yeah.
And it's also reasonable for the results that the course provides. It's also reasonable for the consumer. It really comes down to the result. It depends on the result. If you have an online course that teaches you to make muffins, you wouldn't pay 183.
Is it gotta be a part of your course?
No.
Okay.
But if you have an online course, which I intended to, my first idea was because I've got my knee operated and I had to, I used to run half marathons and now I run half marathons again. But I had to read about technique and I had to completely relearn my running technique in order to not harm my knees and my back.
Mm-hmm.
So right now there's no problem for me to run because I know how to run with a knee injury. I've had an operation. So
is it recovering well?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
100%. And
good.
And my first idea was to make an online course about running. How to have this kind of rehabilitating running technique.
Mm-hmm.
And this has high value,
But it sounds like you need some sort of a certification to do that.
It does sound like that.
Right.
But if I give people results, which I know it works because my dad has had both his knees operated. I have had just one, and he couldn't run. He could not run. And then I told my dad that, hey, I think I figured out I can run now. Be my test subject. And I took it step by step with my dad, and he started running again. And we ran half marathons together. So I know it works.
Okay.
And it's not just I tried and it works, but I've also read books about running and running technique and how where pressure applies when and so on and so forth.
Okay.
So I think the thing that's necessary to mention here, maybe to make you understand, and maybe the listeners to make them understand better the concept of online courses, is that anyone can do them, and that anyone can do them doesn't mean that they're bullshit. It means that you don't have to be the best, you know.
Okay.
You have to be able to teach some certain group. Like, I'm terrible at math.
That's what I always say.
I'm terrible at math, but I could teach, you know, third graders about math. So, but there's always areas where we are, you know, there are things, each of us has things, you know, that other people ask advice for, no, like from us.
Okay.
And things that we're naturally interested in, and this is why we've read about them, why we've accumulated knowledge about them, and we don't even value this knowledge because, you know, it's part of us, but each of us has something to teach others.
Coming back to the knee thing.
Well,
if I have some knee problem, what would be one advice you can give me to make me run better?
Start running on your on the front of your foot.
Okay.
You know, the this part.
Do I tiptoe while I run?
Yeah, basically, like, but start from the very beginning. Just like first week, run 500 meters every day on your tiptoes. It's not completely tiptoes, but the idea is that well, when we got modern running shoes, they weren't researched to look like this. It was a hypothesis that if we give the running shoes a really thick part, you know, the heel part, then we can make a longer step and we can land on the heel, and we get to, you know, cover more distance with the same amount of steps.
Yeah. But
it was actually a terrible idea because, you know, if you look at runners, animals who are runners, none of them actually use their heels, because heels are basically like this. There's a little bit of fat here, but any kind of impact is sent straight into the knee and into the back. Like, there's no, like, if you fell on this part, it's like the impact is going to be very strong. But let's say that you manage to, our hands aren't as strong, but if you land on your toes, then there's like a lot of, like, there's like a spring, there's a lot of force here. It absorbs the impact and it doesn't damage your back. So you just have to learn, like, the basic idea is to learn to run in a right way, not on your heel or over your heel, rather than, you know, every time your foot lands, it has to land right underneath you. You run with a straight back, your head is up straight, and your legs land underneath you, not in front of you.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a topic I'm really passionate about, so, you know, this is why I also wanted to make a course about it, because...
Yeah, I see what you mean. It just seems like there's a lot more absorption of the shock.
If you want, you can just stand up and try, like, jumping. You don't use your heels, and it's super soft.
Yeah.
If I do it on the heel, you can hear the impact. But if you wear the shoe, then it absorbs the pain. The you know, you don't sense the impact, but it doesn't mean that it's not there, because if you're running, you know, it's continuous. It's not a strong impact, but it just keeps on repeating, and eventually it'll break your joints.
Eventually.
Like, if you run wrong, just, you know, for 100 meters and come back, nothing will happen. But if you keep running wrong, you will end up with painful knees.
I'll try it. You have a dad.
I do, unexpectedly I do.
I met your dad, I met your mom, and your entire family. How do they think about you pursuing a, you know, kind of a career path that you're on right now? Do they have any specific sentiment towards it?
It's a good... they've always been concerned with they ask like, how is it going, and like before I didn't know what or in what way I wanted to achieve my freedom, then they constantly asked like, what kind of steps have you taken, and it was really nerve-wracking, because you always had this pressure like, what are you doing, but for a long time, because they are all really practical. My mom has the background of being a lawyer, and my dad is an entrepreneur. My brother is an entrepreneur, and then I'm this kind of like artsy. Yeah, let's film stuff. Let's give talks. Then at first I think it might have been a bit hard for them to emphasize with my interests and my career path.
Yeah.
But they very quickly accepted it and became very supportive. Right now, I've also told them to like back off. I'm gonna let you know when it's done. Like, don't ask me any more questions. I just want to make it public if it's actually already working.
Who is asking the most question at the point?
Well, usually it's my dad. But well, I am asking the most questions about this. Like every day, this is the main thing. This is what occupies, I don't know, half my brain potential every day or more. And but besides me, I guess it's still my dad. Although has kind of learned to like trust and respect my own judgment, but he still wants to be there. Parents don't do it to torment you, they do it because they care about you. The weird thing is that oftentimes when we do things because we care about someone, we can that if we do something with good intentions, it doesn't guarantee that the result is going to be good, but it's okay.
It's not, well, the reason why I asked the question is because not a lot of not a lot of people, well, particularly here, choose to do things your way or to pursue a career like you do, not going through
well, I think it's not just here. I think everywhere
in
in
general,
the world. In
right?
general, yeah. This is not a traditional career path. The traditional career path is what, to go to school, go to university, graduate. You get a great paper. You well, nowadays the paper doesn't give you much advantage because everyone has the paper.
I mean, maybe it's becoming more and more acceptable to do
things the other way.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe it's more acceptable to do things like more entrepreneurial. But you're kind of like not even totally that, because you're also being creative on the side of.
No, it's like creative entrepreneurship is my thing, and I think that's totally like a style of entrepreneurship, because you need someone to provide the banking services and the financial services, but you also need someone to provide theater and cinema and entertainment and education. In
the context of Estonia, who would you see as doing something similar to you that you know of?
There's a really Victoria Villig. She is an Estonian YouTuber. One of the, I think, like the second or third most subscribed, like out of those who do stuff in Estonian.
Okay.
And or at least who do this, traditionally YouTube-like content. We have this Life of Boris, who does this kind of very Slavic flavored videos, but he does them in English. And I think we have this one Russian girl who has like 500,000 followers doing beauty stuff or something. But yeah, Victoria Villig, she we had a chance to talk after the show where I was a host, the YouTuber show, and I asked her, like, is YouTube gonna be your main job? And she was like, no, it's like, come on, it's like, we're young, we're having fun, if we make some money it's great, but you know, it's not a job. And she wants to go study abroad, and she has this, I didn't know it, by the way, but his dad has a very entrepreneurial way of thinking, and I think that probably, you know, it being her home environment, it might have you know, influenced her, because, you know, if I hear her talk or discuss things, or like I hear other people talk about her way of dealing with things, then she doesn't only have this kind of, you know, this fun face, you know, that you need for YouTube. She has like a lot of meat to the I don't know, potential, you know, and this kind of like not she's the kind of a person who I think will get stuff done, and this is like the indicator to whether or not the person will be a successful entrepreneur.
Okay. Do you think you guys are, in a sense, similar?
I think she is. I think she's a role model for me, because I believe we do share some character traits, but I think she's much more hardworking and much more self-disciplined and much more focused, which is something that I wish to develop in myself. And yeah, I would say that she's younger than me, but she's further ahead in her, you know, personal development, at least when it comes to the personality traits that you need to build and grow a business.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about some other more famous and more accomplished people? Can you think of someone that, not necessarily in Estonia, somebody that you kind of want to...
A role model?
Yeah, kind of aspire to become, or to go for like the same direction, so I get like a bigger picture, understand it better.
Like, I don't mind being the you know, the top 1% of the world, you know, financially and influentially, and you know, so on and so forth.
Okay.
But I don't mind, but I don't it's not like my goal. My goal is freedom.
Okay.
But you know, if you ask who's more accomplished and also like a role model of mine, then if I could ask any person,
let me guess.
Yeah.
I think I might know what you're gonna say.
Well, go on, guess.
Just to narrow it down for me, entrepreneur.
Yeah.
American.
No.
Not American.
Well, he has citizenship, but...
Okay, Elon Musk.
Yeah, Elon Musk, exactly. A guy who doesn't set like any limitations. Like I might be thinking, you know, that, you know, well, I'm probably not thinking like this way, but a lot of, you know, Estonian entrepreneurs might be thinking of the Estonian market or the Estonian space.
You're not.
As the entire space. Well, since I'm directed towards internet, you know, online businesses, then my spectrum is the world, you know. But he doesn't even limit himself there. He's like, hey, let's take another planet, you know.
But it's still, the market is still here. He's not trying to...
Well, not just the market, just, you know, like in the terms of the playing field and in the terms of possibility, you know. An online course business is something that's been done before. Mm-hmm. A colony on Mars is not something that's been done before. An electric car company, so big, so successful, never been done before. You know, solar panels for roofs haven't been done before at a level where he is developing things. He he like by no means, almost none of his businesses are doing something that people have already done. It's always innovating. You know, it's so creative. I so admire this. His capability to take a space where nothing is in and then manifest something into it. You know, it's magic. This is the kind of people who propel people forward.
So you don't think you would like to limit yourself within Estonia, as I understand, one way or another?
Definitely,
right?
Not, yeah.
Financially or personally. Let me put it this way. What have you thought of if you want to move somewhere else and live somewhere else?
Where would it be?
Yeah. If that's
well, the thing is, I enjoy Estonia immensely in the summer.
Okay.
And
for 2 weeks.
For 2 weeks. Yeah, no, it's not. It's like I don't even need it to be
super warm.
Super warm. I just like Estonia. Like I feel at home with the people and the nature and you know, the smells and the habits and the customs and the culture. It's home, but the length and the darkness and the coldness of the winter is just, well, it's I was gonna say unbearable, but obviously it's bearable. But I would very gladly not bear that. So, you know, I would enjoy perhaps, traveling in, not spending time in Estonia for example, like November. Then you come back to Estonia to get all the Christmas and the New Year's in December. Then January, February, March, again, I don't need to be in Estonia.
But because you're doing things related on internet, I guess there's no necessity for you to move somewhere to do it, right?
Yeah, exactly. This is again freedom. This is again why I love the internet business, because it's freedom. I just take the laptop and I'm free to go wherever I want. Whereas if I have like a production line, it has a physical spot, you know, and it has storage rooms and all this kind of products. They're physical. It's very hard to, you know.
It seems really a word that you repeat a lot is freedom.
Yeah.
Let's say, very hypothetical scenario. There's no internet.
Okay.
What would you do?
There's no internet.
Yeah. I know the world is gotta be a different place if there's no internet, but let's assume internet is simply an element.
Okay, let's not go too deep.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's not go too deep with it.
Assuming everything else kind of function pretty much the same.
Okay, but there's
just without internet.
Just without internet. Okay, so you know, information is exchanged over phones and so. There's no internet. I guess I would like before internet, this kind of information products, you know, online courses, books. There were no ebooks, there were actual books, or there were, you know, cassettes with video, and they were sold by mail.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that could be like I'm not saying that this is what I would do, but it would be an alternative to an online business. It would be way less effective, but it would be an alternative. But I believe what I would actually do is either like a really simple alternative is I would become a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
But more preferably, I would want to
a teacher in what?
Well, like if I had to like get a job today, then I would become an English teacher.
Okay.
Like I gotta get it as soon as possible.
Okay.
Then I would become an English teacher, but otherwise, when I gave this talk at this business conference in December, that was when I felt like, oh, I'm being used for my purpose. You know, like if a shovel is being used for digging, then it can feel that I am being fully utilized, like I'm fulfilling my purpose. If a shovel is being used to, I don't know, brush teeth, then it obviously doesn't feel in its own place, but I just felt so in my own place in front of an audience, conveying my own thoughts to them. And this is again like an important thing, that I would, as much as possible, I would want the thoughts to be mine. Like I would, yeah, I can teach, of course, you know, anything, because of the public speaking skill and the the skill of handling people. But I would like to feel that something that I came up with in my own head is going out there into the world and making it a better place.
Yeah, man.
This is actually a thing that if, like, let's say that I make an online product, 2, maybe 3, and these provide me freedom. Okay, let's say so. Then I would definitely like pursue this kind of a speaker / teacher kind of a position, because this online business, it's for the wallet, it's for the freedom. But this talking, this is for the soul,
I like that.
Yeah. Or if we completely lost the internet and we fall back into Middle Ages, then I would become a preacher at a church, because that's basically the content would be much more religious, but pretty much it's the same thing. It's where these kind of like public speaking originates from.
Are you religious?
Define religious.
In whatever definition you would like to use. Are you religious?
Generally, I would say no. I'm not religious.
Do you believe in God?
Define God.
In whatever way you want to define it.
In that way, yes. In
Okay.
that way, yes. I believe in God.
But not in the sense how, all the people understand it out there.
Not in a purely religious sense. I'm definitely a pagan in a sense that I believe that I am God and you are God, and the dude walking there
I like the sound of that.
is a God.
Okay.
So because it is so hard for people, it's easier not to get all the responsibility laid on your own shoulders. So it is presented as a, like an out of you outer entity, God, who's doing all these things and who is taking care of you, while in reality you are taking care of you. You are responsible for your life. You are almighty. You are possible of shaping your own life. But if you say like, Pinchon, you are responsible, you are, and even if I say that you are responsible and you are almighty, even if I say you're almighty, you don't believe it. It's hard to believe.
I do though.
Okay, you do, but generally people wouldn't believe it.
I think they do.
It's hard to believe.
I think they do.
I tend to disagree, but it's hard to believe it, and it puts so much responsibility on them that it paralyzes them. So if I say that, oh, there's a dude on a cloud or wherever, some kind of outer entity who is almighty and responsible for your life and has taken care of everything, and life's fantastic because of him, then it just makes it easier to accept. It's like a pre-chewed, really important food. I don't know if my metaphor was adequate, but
Okay. But would you consider yourself Christian?
no,
Is anybody in your family Christian?
no. Are you religious?
Sorry?
Are you religious?
I'm not.
Okay.
Yeah. What?
Do you believe in God?
Never thought about it. But yeah, I don't think so. Yeah. It just because for flaky people like me, it's just hard to believe in something,
What do you mean flaky?
It's just something I'm just very. I don't trust things easily, Even if I see something, I don't think I actually saw it. So it's hard. Even if God is doing his magic, I wouldn't be convinced, So in a sense, I guess I'm not religious just because I'm so hard to please. Is that the word?
Mm-hmm.
It just
it's like hard to give you a satisfying answer, I think.
Yeah, I'm just not really believing.
You're doubtful about everything.
That's a word, doubtful. I don't believe in things, just in general.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I always thought like I was adopted. My parents, I doubted if they were my parents. I still kind of doubted that, but I just try not to think about it.
Well, like, I think the difference between you and me, because I've also thought, like, throughout, ever since I was like really, really small kid, I like occasionally I think that what if I have been planted into this family and they're all acting like no one is going to work. It's all like, I don't know, some secret organization funded, and they are all here just to observe me and at the opportune moment kill me. So you're like watching, like your little sister is playing and your mom's doing something, I don't know, cooking or cleaning, and you look at them like, they're so goddamn good actors. You know, those are some really good actors.
Kind of like Truman's World.
Yeah, exactly. This is what I've been thinking about, that, you know, like and then it goes away. And then in time, it's like, I'm not even sure, it's not even a doubt, I think. It's more like a game or like a hypothesis that I like to play with. I think.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I guess it's, for me, when you say doubtful, and I agree with you, I don't think it's doubtful. It's just, you know, when people are doubtful, they're curious at the same time. Often, you know, they want to know the answer, and they're actively seeking the answer because they don't want to remain doubtful.
I think this is a very strong characteristic of you.
And for me, I don't know. I'm not that curious. You know, like I'm.
No, I was just gonna say that you are curious.
Okay.
I think you're super curious. You're like, if I think anyone who has ever got into a discussion with you can confirm that you're so interested. You're super curious. I think this is like the main characteristic that when I think of you, I think curious.
Okay. Again, I don't really know how to take it. It doesn't sound like an insult, at least.
It doesn't.
It doesn't.
I mean, it wasn't meant as an insult.
Are you a flat earther?
Do I believe that Earth is flat?
Yeah.
No, I don't.
What shape is Earth?
Donut. No. It's well, if you climb up to a very, very high mountain, it looks round, and you know, all the pictures from space and so on, and if moon is round, and if other objects in space are round, by the way, then you know, it would be very logical to think that Earth is round, and by the way, there was like this exchange between flat earthers and some doubtful people in Twitter, and the flat earthers confirmed that they believe other planets are round, but Earth is flat. You know.
Okay.
There's no specific reason behind it. I'm not convinced by the fact that we're being lied to.
Do you believe 9/11 actually happened, or it's a government job?
Well, it happened, obviously. Whether or not it was a government job is a good question, or it could be that you know, there's no single truth, that it was, you know, perhaps both, that, you know, it was originally a terrorist job, but maybe the government decided not to prevent it. But I have literally put no thought into it. It is the outcome. If you don't really, like, even if you do take into account the deaths, then the outcome for the US government was favorable. 9/11 was a positive thing.
Do you believe in that building fell apart and then thousands of people died?
Yeah, I tend to believe that. Yeah. Why wouldn't that be true? I think that's something you don't really fake. Because I've heard of people who were in New York, and I've talked to a person who had, you know, who was in the company of at the time of the 9/11. He was in a company where one of the people lost a loved one. So she received the information. So like, I think, yeah, those people really died, but you know, the backstory behind it, whether or not it was government or not, is unsure. And I'm not even saying that government doing it is impossible, because as I said, it was beneficial for them. It gave them an excuse and the favor of the people to go for oil. So, you know, maybe it was a coincidence, maybe it wasn't, but I don't care enough about the topic to, you know, go deeper to find the truth. And even if I did, I doubt that I would find it.
Are you a conspiracy theorist?
I enjoy reading them because I enjoy good fiction.
So you're not.
So I mean, I don't say they're fiction, but oftentimes they're like so absurd that they're like, you can be pretty sure they're fiction. But like, I don't care about conspiracy theories enough to put any actual thought into them. Like,
so you don't think the government is gaining up against people and trying to take the freedom away from us?
Who is the government? Like, the government changes every 4 years.
The very small majority that is actually in power constantly. You don't believe in that?
That I actually think, I wouldn't say I believe, but I think it's very logical. I think it's very probable, and it's very logical that the entire planet has, like, I don't think maybe one person, but just a few people who actually control the governments and the entire. It would make sense, because, you know, generally the world is thriving towards I think it's going well. The world is going well, but you know, if you have politicians who constantly like they constantly change. So they don't have the interest of actually making good changes, you know, driving humanity towards prosperity and wealth. Their own interest is just to be in power, just to, you know, pay the bills, get clothes for their kids. So, but since the world is generally, I think, like, there's a lot of media oversells the negativity because it sells papers, it's clickbait. But I think generally there's less diseases, less war than ever before. World is going in a right direction, and because it is, I think it's only natural that there is some kind of a Illuminati or something. You know, I don't consider myself a conspiracy theorist, but I think this just makes sense.
But you just use the word Illuminati.
Yeah, because a lot of people use it. So, you know, it would be relatable if I use this word. But yeah, I think it makes sense to have some kind of a superpower somewhere. And I think they're not trying to take the freedom away, because I just read the book by George Orwell, 1984, where they had taken the freedom away. You know, this select few, the party, had taken control of the people, and it didn't work out so well. But if you think about it, then we are all. It's like the perfect system. We're all chasing recognition, importance. The same thing: recognition, importance, relevance. You know, we want to matter somehow. We want to have either an Instagram following, or we want to be known for doing something, or we want to be a good parent, or something that defines us. We want something that we could feel we're relevant.
Do you feel everybody want that?
Yeah, that's what I feel. And the second thing we want is that most people want is abundance. You know, wealth, money, It's such like this, this capitalist system. You know, every tree tries to get the most light, be the tallest tree, so they would get the most light and have the easiest life.
I like that expression.
Yeah, and it's I think like capitalism is nature. Nature is capitalistic. The strong survive. Nothing gets that. You know, if there's a patch of grass where or patch of land which is fruitful and nothing grows there very soon is going to be something growing there. And if there's too many trees growing there, then the weaker ones die out. So it's a self-regulating system. The same with capitalism. I think capitalism is like a model of nature. It's I'm not even like a fan of capitalism because it is capitalism. I'm a fan of capitalism because it's so natural. It's like the way nature works.
You're a fan of nature.
I'm a fan of God's work, so to say. Yeah, the perfection with which nature works. It's not like everyone has it easy. Not everyone in nature has it easy either, but it works so perfectly.
God's work. Are you a Drake fan?
No.
Okay.
Why did you ask that?
Nothing.
We were talking about something and I got sidetracked by the idea that capitalism is... Oh, I think the point I was getting at is that capitalism is a way to, well, enslave people because they're occupied by their own life, you know, getting a nice car, working out, having a social status. They're happy. This pursuit makes them happy, and the achievements they achieve during this pursuit. It makes them happy and it keeps them occupied so they don't bother the people who actually rule the world. I think it makes sense.
Why do they want us not to bother them? What are they up to if it's not about their own
they're about keeping it running. They're actually, like, I believe, like, if they exist, we're here talking hypothetically, but if they exist, I don't believe that they're, you know, malicious people. They want it to be sustainable. You know, they don't want to milk the humanity, right? They want it to keep growing. Why would they want to milk the humanity? Like this is against all their own interests.
Do they want the same thing like us?
I think yes. Technically, they want the same thing as us, but they think much more long term. Like people, everyday people, you, me, the people living in the residing apartments, we are so occupied with our everyday life. You know, what I'm gonna wear today, how I'm gonna pay for my tuition this year, where are my kids gonna go to school? It's mundane. It's maintenance. We're occupied with our maintenance of our lives, and this is this, like, you know, if this superpower exists ruling over us, then it suits them because we are busy micromanaging our own lives, and they can, you know, focus on macro managing the entire planet, so to say.
Mm-hmm.
It just makes sense, you know.
I guess that's it. Thank you for coming up to the podcast. The first episode ever.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
I think we did great because my ass is started to hurt. We have been here for quite a while. And
how long have we been here?
I would say 2 hours, maybe.
Wow.
Do you have any questions? Final questions for me, or?
Well, I would like to, like, I'd say that you're a fantastic host. You're much better host than I could ever aspire to be because you're a good listener. You can ask a question and just bear with my rambling.
It's hard, but
yeah, but you do it so well.
I do my best.
You do your best, and you do it well. So I think I have no more questions.
Yeah, this is how we wrap it up. Do you want to if people are interested in what you're doing, how can they find you?
Well, I'm everywhere under my own name, so either in Instagram, YouTube, but well, I don't actively upload to YouTube or Instagram, but like my email address is my first name and my second name @gmail.com. My Instagram is my first name, my second name. My YouTube is my first name, my second name. It's really straightforward.
Is that how they're gonna get, how people are gonna get informed about your, upcoming endeavor? That
definitely, yeah. I'm sure I will share this in YouTube and on Instagram as a way to get first attention to it.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming in.
Well, yeah. I hope it's not the last one we do together.
No, I think we did great.
Well done.
Okay.
Are you not a shaker?
I'm a shaker.
You're a shaker. You're gonna have to think about the introduction though, because I think like we didn't
do an intro.
We didn't do any intro, it feels like
just abruptly started.
Yeah, it feels like people are like thrown into our discussion from like a random point in it.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot.
Actually, you can use just what we just spoke. You can use that as intro.
Yeah.
I like that, and then the video starts.
Okay.